So, hello everyone. I am Dr. Nikhil Panse and welcome to this session on Candid Conversations. So, this is a sort of a different session that we are having. In most of our academic gatherings, in our conferences, we only tend to discuss about academics from our teachers, from our seniors. But if we give it a thought, there is so much to learn from them apart from academics, their life lessons, what they have all gone through their exciting and inspiring careers. So today we have with us for this session of Candid Conversations, we have with us Dr. Ramesh Sharma sir. He needs no introduction, but just to be brief, I'll tell you some things about him. He is the former head of the Department of Plastic Surgery at PGI Chandigarh. He is former Dean of PGI Chandigarh. He is past president of the Association of Plastic Surgeons of India, also the past president of Indian Society of Cleft Lip, Palate and Craniofacial Anomalies. He has been awarded the Best Teacher Award of the APSI, and he has delivered numerous orations like the CBK oration, the Gillies oration, the Founders oration of the Cleft Lip Palate Society, the R.N. Sharma oration, and he has had outstanding contribution to research as well with numerous publications to his credit. And he is one of the smartest plastic surgeons we all know in the fraternity as of now. Obviously, I also come in that category. I consider myself smart. So, welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us for this session of Candid Conversations. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you, Nikhil, for the kind words, which probably I don't deserve, but nevertheless, thanks a lot.
Absolutely, sir. So, sir, let us begin by knowing a bit about your journey, sir. Can you tell us a bit about your journey from medical school to becoming a plastic surgeon?
Well, Nikhil, like I belong to the college generation of 1970s, and in those days, whosoever was a good student, and I was one of them, it was destined that they will become doctors only because the parents wanted them to become doctors. So I had a good score in my pre-meds those days, and it used to be all combined Punjab University, catering to Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, everything right up to Delhi. So I was a good student. So I got, by dint of good score, admission into medical college, and so I did my MBBS. And then during my MBBS, all along I was kind of not very happy with the medicine as a subject because I thought it takes a long time for the patient to get well, whereas in surgery you could have quick results. So during my MBBS only, I decided to become a surgeon. And as luck would have it, I got selected in PGI, which was kind of dream come true. So came to PGI, and in PGI we would be made to rotate through various departments. And during my rotations, I zeroed on to two specialties. One was plastic surgery, other was neurosurgery. And fortunately for me, Dr. Rajiv Ahuja was my senior, 1 year senior to me in general surgery, and he had taken up plastic surgery. So he kept on hammering into me that plastic surgery is better than neurosurgery. And moreover, at that time, there was no vacancy in neurosurgery when I passed my MS.
Okay.
So I appeared for plastic surgery, and again, I was lucky enough to get selected. And that's how I became a plastic surgeon. So I would give a lot of credit to Dr. Ahuja also, who actually forced me to become a plastic surgeon.
Even now, sir, both of you are together in the academic sessions of the API.
Yeah, he has tremendously influenced my career selection and the choices I make in my life.
Right, sir. So you have been throughout a student of PGI, I believe. Your MS General Surgery, MCH as well. And even after MCH, you have been a faculty right from being an assistant professor to being the dean of PGI. So PGI has had a significant influence on your life.
Yeah, I stuck to the ground and stayed on.
Yeah. So after spending these many years at PGI now, how does it feel to be away from PGI? How's life after retirement treating you, sir?
Well, when I was on the verge of retirement, I thought that I have still enough juice in me and I should not be sitting back at home. And so there was choice was what to do. So one choice would have been that, I could join one of those institutes which are coming up, all India institutes and all, and become the director there, and where you are basically into the administrative jungle. Which probably was not up to my liking. So I thought of exploring other areas, and the corporate world was one choice. And fortunately for me, where I stay in Panchkula, a new corporate hospital had come up, Paras group of hospitals, and they were looking for a plastic surgeon. And so I was approached by them, and I said, okay, fine. So it has been, I have wandered into the corporate world now.
Yeah, right, right, right. So, sir, PGI, you have given decades of your life to PGI. I know PGI is known for Dr. CBK.
Yes.
PGI is also known for Dr. Ramesh Sharma, and Dr. Ramesh Sharma is also known for PGI. So, it is both ways. So, how do you create a legacy of this kind, and how do you maintain that legacy?
Uh, I think it will be very unfair to compare me to the stalwarts like Dr. Balakrishnan and Dr. C.P. Sani, not to forget him.
Yeah,
He also was one of the founding nurturers of the Department of Plastic Surgery at
absolutely.
PGI. And I would say I was very lucky that when I joined the department, not as an MCH student, but when I joined as a general surgery resident, even CBK was there at that time, and then he retired a year later. So I have seen them from very close quarters. I think to continue the legacy was kind of simple for me because all the SOPs had been laid down. All that I had to do was just follow them, but also to keep abreast of the latest which was happening. So, like to keep in tune with the time. So this would mean introducing new courses, getting hold of new instrumentation,
Mm.
and encouraging my younger colleagues to take up subjects which were not taught even when we were doing residencies. So it's a constant change, as you would agree. Plastic surgery has witnessed a sea change in the last 2-3 decades.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was at the helm of affairs at PGI, so I was lucky enough to have a team with me who rose to the occasion that if I had told Dr. Gautam Vishwas to go for microsurgery, he did that with aplomb.
Mhm.
And so were other people also. So I think to carry a legacy is not an individualistic effort, it is a teamwork. And
Right, right.
some kind of, you need good luck also to have a team which responds to your needs. So I think that way I have been singularly very lucky.
Right, sir. So you wrote in the current one of the issues of IGAPS about CP Sani sir and also about CVK sir. In that article itself, I have read it.
Yeah,
Bit
yeah,
of comparison as well between both of them.
right.
We have seen, sir, there are departments like my own parent department. I am a product of GMC Baroda.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
guide, Dr. Yogesh Bhatt sir, when he resigned from the department, there
Mhm.
was a quick downfall, I would say, of the department. And now we don't have that department. The department ceased to
Oh,
exist. There's no
that's
faculty over there right now.
that's very unfortunate.
So, what do you think, sir? Does the department make the man, or does the man make the department,
Uh,
or is
I
it
think
both?
it is reciprocal and interdependent. I don't think individuals can make the departments. Both play an important role. Like the department nurtures the student, or the person individual, provides them opportunities to hone their skills, may fund their getting trained, and when they, having done that, those people then come back and give back to the department. So I think
Both.
it's a constant give and take between the individuals and the department, and so it's a reciprocal relation. uh, I feel that one of the reasons for the incidents which you just quoted could be that you have to also see to it that there is a second line of leaders after you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure it may not be within his hands to have created that, because
Absolutely.
there are many restrictions. Uh,
Yes.
but a lot of credit to Dr. Yogesh, and I know him so well. He has been exemplary in what he started there in Baroda.
Right.
At one time, it was one of the top departments,
Right.
and he has enormous range of skills.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. As you said, sir, in many times in government institutes, it is not in the power of the head of the department
Yes,
to fill in the vacant posts.
right,
People tend not to join, and so on
right,
and so forth, sir.
right, correct.
So you talked about shifting from an administrative post like dean into the corporate culture. So is that staying in that position of administrative post of dean for so long time,
Mhm.
you is it difficult to manage? Are there any political interferences as being a dean of an institute of national importance like PGI?
So Nikhil, actually being a dean at places like PGI, as you say, call them INIs,
Yeah.
is slightly different than being a dean at, say, a medical college.
Okay.
Medical college, it is primarily an administrative post,
Yes.
whereas although it's a administrative post, I would say it's a quasi-administrative post at PGI. You also have a lot of opportunity to delve into the academic aspects also, because you have the power to start new courses, you have the power to affect the curriculum, and you also have the power to conduct the entrance exam, which needs to be modulated with changing times. So being in that position at PGI allows you to both play the role of an administrator as well as an educator. So your both the capabilities are at display at that level.
Right.
And Dean also, now they have a separate post of Dean Research in PGI, but earlier it used to be the Dean would also spearhead the research wing also.
Okay.
So he had the chance to forge alliances with other departments, maybe domestic or international. So it was an exciting mix of academics and administration, where
Right.
you felt quite of empowerment.
Yes.
And fortunately, in PGI, so far till I was there, there was minimal political interference.
Okay.
If it was there, you could very easily negotiate it.
Right. Right. Right.
So we were lucky that way.
But as you said, sir, in medical colleges, deanly is primarily, although the terminology dean is meant for academic post, it is
Yes.
mainly administrative.
Yeah.
So thankfully, in the INIs and PGI, it was not. So how do we incorporate this culture into the mainstream? Any thoughts about it? I know it's beyond the power of an individual, but
Yeah, I feel that why this fabric has been maintained in INI is primarily because of one fact, that practice of no kind whatsoever is allowed in PGI.
yes,
Whereas in medical colleges, please correct me if I'm wrong, in many places I find that the faculty is legally allowed to do practice.
yeah,
And so it dilutes everything. So, I think that could be a contributory factor, may not be the sole factor. So the kind of milieu we have in PGI, the academic environment we have in PGI, I think that has insulated us from falling into the trap of the rat race, which otherwise is happening in other medical colleges. So, again, I would say a slice of luck to be in PGI.
right, sir. So you said being in the position of a dean, which is partly academic, partly administrative, you were in a position to sort of influence or change or adapt to the changing times of the curriculums. You
Right,
were also in a position to change the entrance patterns,
right,
and you must have taken numerous interviews of the students which were aspiring to come to PGI. Two
right.
of your students who have been working with me or had worked with me as MS General Surgery, Giriraj and
Mhm.
Lalit, they were fortunate enough to train under you.
Yeah, they're very good boys. Very good.
So, sir, I wanted to ask you that you interview them in a matter of maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, and
Right,
even tend to interview faculties of other institutes of other INIs before inducting them.
right.
What do you tend to look in those 5, 10 minutes? How do you conduct that interview, and how do you pick and choose the best of the candidates for your department?
So what happens is, before the candidate is shortlisted for interview, they have already appeared into an objective type of exam. So
Yeah.
they have already proved their mettle that they know the subject,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that makes our job little easy. So when a candidate comes to me, I have to look for two things. I'm talking of the entrance,
Yeah. Yeah.
MCH entrance.
Yeah.
So I want to just guess, is he opting for plastic surgery out of some interest, or he is just enamored by the word plastic surgery? That was one. And second is, I just want to know what does he know about this subject, rather than what he does not know about this subject. So,
Okay.
like, I would simply ask them, so what in your understanding is plastic surgery as a specialty? So it was very interesting. Somebody will define plastic surgery in a different way. Somebody will have totally opposite view. It's like five blind men explaining what the elephant looks like.
Right.
And so I could through those discussions make an idea that this gentleman is genuinely interested in learning the subject. I would not expect them to tell me details of plastic surgery procedures. No,
Yeah.
they have come for
They have come to learn.
that.
Yeah.
So it was basically the aptitude testing in that little time, and I think in majority of the circumstances, I think my hunch feeling was probably proved right.
Right, right, right. And about the faculty positions, sir, where you conduct interviews for other universities, other places.
So faculty position again, I have all along maintained that if I'm going to interview a faculty, I'm not going to ask him about subjects.
Yeah.
So it will be a general thing, like you are now working as a faculty and you have a candidate who comes to you to write to ask for a subject on which he can write a thesis. So how would you give him a thesis?
Okay.
And how are you going to guide him?
Okay.
And so then I would probably ask him about the statistical methods, what is p-test and what is confidence of interval, what is all those things which are related to research. So if the gentleman who is appearing for the post of a faculty doesn't know these basic things,
Yeah.
standard deviation, if he doesn't know,
Right.
I don't think he has anything to do with the academics. So that will be my thrust. So the smarter people who knew that I'm going to come would always, be very strong about the statistical methods.
Okay.
But I thought it is very important because
Yeah.
if you want to write a paper or you want to, conduct a research,
Research.
it has to be visualized well in advance. You have to think of all the possibilities, which can be done only if you have a logical, conclusion of what you want to do.
Right. So that's fair enough. Obviously, if you want to be in academics, you need to be academically oriented and research oriented
So,
to some extent.
interestingly, many times I ask somebody, so have you published something? So he says, yes, I have published. I say, so what is the citation index? So he will not know. So I will tell him, okay, you know what is indexing of the journal? So if he's not knowing what is indexing of the journal and what does this mean, then he has no business to be in academics.
Absolutely. Sir. You talked about your hunch of taking students have been correct most of the times.
Most of the time.
So obviously, you must have encountered some students who are not performing up to the mark. Probably they might have their potentials, but they were not performing up to their potentials. How do you get work done from those people who are not motivated, who don't match up to the standards of the department, who lag behind a bit?
Yeah, I think this can be a very difficult situation. And yeah, as you guessed it right, we also had our share of some of such students. But I think for them, I will give them a lot of credit that they were able to crack the exam and they entered into the system. And so they are basically intelligent.
Yeah.
So I think with empathy and being a good listener to their problems and spending little extra time with them, we were able to get to the root cause of their not being interested. Some were just plain rebellious. They said that I just don't want to do it.
Oh.
So then convince them that once you have entered this course, you are in a good place. Why should you fritter away the advantage? Or if somebody had some issue with his immediate senior, so try to resolve that. So I think all these enfant terrible people need empathy rather than setting them aside with a rebuke. And many of such students who initially were branded as useless turned out to be really good. So I think we need to have a empathetic approach to them.
Right. So this was a difficult question, sir, and very to the point and useful answer, sir. Being a teacher myself in plastic surgery, I always wonder if we come across these students, how do we get work?
Right. So only somebody who is deep into the system could have framed such a question.
Yes, sir.
Give a lot of credit to you for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, can you tell us some memories about your students and who's your favorite student till date?
Well, I think that will be unfair to label one as my favorite, but many students have left their mark in the department, and some were extremely academically oriented. Some had extremely fine pair of hands. somebody was a good organizer, and so each one had their own qualities. I would say it, most of our students have been our teachers also. We also tend, and you will agree with me
Absolutely.
that when we teach, actually we are also learning.
We learn.
And so I'm very happy and proud to say that our students have been great teachers for us also, and many of them now hold good positions. So I think very proud of all of them.
Right, sir.
Yes, I feel like taking names of somebody, but I think it will be unfair. It's like
That
asking
is,
who is your favorite child.
yeah, that is a diplomatic answer, sir. But yes, we will accept it. Just in today's time, sir, there was an editorial like parents do tend to have a favorite child. So
Yeah,
likewise, teachers also do tend to have their favorite students.
there are there.
They don't
I never
publish it.
denied that. I never denied that. But
Yeah,
I don't want to have a feud starting off at some
right,
other
sir.
place.
Right, sir. Right, sir. So you have been visiting fellow in the US. You have been to Bahrain in the
Mhm.
early phase of your career,
Yeah.
and you have traveled around the globe. You have given talks. You have been a AO faculty.
Mhm.
So how do you think things are different in the teaching world, in the teaching departments across the globe and India? Where do we lack? How can we improve?
Uh, I think the essential difference between India as we are now and the developed world. I will not label Middle East as a developed world to the
Yeah.
extent of Europe or America, but I would say the Indians have the plus point of having a lot of clinical material with us, which probably is not available to people in the Western area.
Yeah.
But I think they duly compensate, more than compensate, by proper documentation. So if they are saying something, it is not based upon their anecdotal, experience. It is documented, proved, statistically enhanced, and then they are telling you. So I
Mm.
think what we lack is our lethargy or kind of chalta hai attitude towards documentation. I think that's one thing, and I'm very happy to note that over the last 2 decades or so, there has been significant improvement in our documentation. People have been, documenting, and I think I will give a lot of credit to Smile Train when they came to India. They mandated that you have to keep the records of the patient, keep their pictures pre and post. Only then you will get the money. So I
Mm.
think that kind of galvanized people, even for even if it was for monetary purpose, to maintain records, and it has paid dividends. So I think so. This is one major thing which is having problems with us. And second thing is that somehow we Indians take pride in saying, "Oh, I don't believe in publishing." I think that is all bad. Uh, I would agree with you on. So there were teachers in the olden time who would just not write, like CBK, who is the colossus of plastic surgery in India, never wrote anything. So CBK's method, if you have to quote, when did he write? So there's
Mm.
nothing. So finally, I had to search some old journal of Indian Journal of Plastic Surgery where he had written one paragraph describing what is his technique like. So he never published. So I think the adage which says either publish or perish is very appropriate. And again, there has been a perceptible change the way we Indians are writing now. Young people are contributing to chapters which are authored by foreigners, like you
Yes.
are one of them. And like you, there are, I think, 5 6 people more who are now actively contributing to the textbooks of plastic surgery.
Global literature.
So yeah. So I think the things are on the upswing in that matter also.
Right, sir. So if we compare even in India, I think if we compare the institutes of national importance like PGI, AIMS, and other departments, state government institute departments.
Mhm.
So I personally feel it might not be true, but I personally feel that our departments are maybe lacking a bit as compared to the INIs, not in terms of clinical load,
Mhm.
but in terms of infrastructure, probably in terms of manpower a bit. So
Right.
how do we sort of develop all these departments so that they come to that level with the INIs?
So, like you hit the nail on the head that, one is the financial crunch. The INIs probably don't have that much an issue with the finances, which a state medical college might be having. But having said that, now most of the equipment which is required for say microsurgery or super microsurgery also,
Yeah.
you need not buy expensive stuff. The Indian manufacturers are also there, and they are providing you things which are at a rate which is a fraction of what the foreigners are charging.
Hmm.
So if we could rationalize where to procure the equipment, probably that could be one way. And secondly, it's in one my wish list that the state governments also allocate more funds to medical education, because it is,
Funded.
yeah, it is going to pay rich dividends later. We should not be penny wise and pound foolish later.
Yes, yes, yes. You you talk about, so right now, allocating resources or managing resources. So you were in a sort of a quasi administrative post, I would say. So
Mhm.
that comes at a cost of taking difficult decisions. As we know, plastic surgery is not that rewarding in terms of finances for the institute. I mean, no
Right.
plastic surgery department, even in private sector, is
Yeah.
lucrative for the institute. It doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
generate a lot of finances, nor
Yeah.
do we save lives to a great extent like
Great.
others.
Great. Great.
So when it comes to allocation of resources, we as plastic surgery departments tend to lag behind.
Absolutely correct.
When you are in an administrative post, rather when you were in an administrative post, it was for the entire institute, and it came to allocating to plastic surgery and to some other important department. How do you take those difficult decisions, which in which your colleagues might not be happy about it?
So when you are on that chair, you have to be guided by the data, the statistics, and when you have to take a call, you have to ask a question to yourself, that am I taking this decision based upon my personal ego, or it is in the interest of the institute in the larger context. So, like, if I had a certain amount of money and it had to be allocated to the neurosurgery vis-a-vis plastic surgery, and the neurosurgeons will have a you know
Obviously, a much
more
stronger.
claim because it's life saving. The number of head injuries which comes to the portals of PGI is much more than it is in plastic surgery. But yes, since I was in a position where I could squeeze in my discretion here and there,
Yeah.
I would steal from Peter to pay Paul, as we are very good at it. So
I
without
think.
harming the other person, I would take some piece of cake and give it to plastic surgery. So that much you can do. But when you are in that position, you have to be very fair, And so I have been able to navigate that path successfully. Nobody has ever blamed me that I was unreasonably favorable to plastic surgery or somebody else.
Right. So, but obviously, in your entire duration of your time at PGI, you probably yourself might have encountered this, or might have seen other people encountering this. That there is no timely promotion, which is probably seen in government institutes more than institutes of national importance. And then that zeal or that enthusiasm which used to be there in those individuals to perform well for the department, for the institute, that goes down even when knowing that you are eligible, you work sincerely, you're not being promoted on time. So how do you overcome these sort of scenarios still continue to work effectively, efficiently?
Uh, I think that's a very, very valid question, and we at INIs have been able to address that reasonably well. And that is that now we have a structured program wherein all the faculty members, unless there is something, you know, grossly, unfavorable in their record, everybody will get to the next level of promotion, provided they face the interview board. And
Okay.
if the interview board says that they can be promoted, they will be promoted. So that has initially what used to happen was that if somebody had to be promoted from assistant professor to say next post, there had to be a vacancy.
Yes.
Only then he will be promoted. But
Yes.
now that part has been taken away. So you carry your this same post to the higher level. So this is called, departmental promotions. You carry your post. and by the time you reach, so you become professor, you retire as professor, your post will be again advertised as assistant professor. So if you have been doing consistently well, you are assured that you will go up unless you have done something hanky panky. So that part of frustration has been taken away by adopting to this, and so you have satisfied a lot of people that way. That but it has led to another problem in the sense that now there could be a scenario that everybody is professor in the department,
Yes.
assistant professor.
Yes.
So every solution has some problem, but I think it is still better that you have people who are motivated and they know that if I'm working hard, nobody can stop my promotion. I wish the same thing could be taken up in other places also. I think it buoys the spirit of the person who is working.
Yes.
So I think that's probably the only solution for that.
But if it is not taken care of, sir,
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have been you must have seen a lot of
Right.
people who
Yeah.
who are stuck up at a level for quite a
Very
long.
long time. I understand that. Yes. So then probably you need to become a little philosophical and believe in karma yoga and say karmanye vedikaraste ma phileshu kadachana. So what I mean is that you keep doing your work. If the recognition is not coming today, it will come day after. It will come,
Yes.
and the very satisfaction that you are delivering what you are supposed to deliver gives you the strength to carry on. Uh, Other than that, I don't think there
There
can
is
be
any other answer
a
to it.
way to assuage the feelings of somebody who is stuck at a place.
I get it, sir. Yes, being philosophical is one way of
Yeah,
addressing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sir, now we have talked about your duration at PGI and administrative research, all those things, and we also talked about philosophy. So, coming to a philosophical question, what is your definition of success? How do you define success?
Yes. I think it's a very deeply personal and subjective answer it is
Yeah.
going to be, because I believe that if you are able to spend life which you think was right, then I think I will consider myself to be successful. So I will elaborate upon this little bit.
Yes, yes, yes.
So let us say that you feel that I should be able to teach one in every year. I should be able to teach one student, or I should be able to do this. I should be able to write a book. I should be able to do this. If I'm able to do that, I'll be happy. But I think it doesn't stop there only. It's a balance between many things. It's a balance between your academics, it is balance between your personal life, your family life, your relationships, your mental peace. So I think it's a conglomeration of your aims which you want to achieve in life, and if you have been working to achieve them, irrespective of the fact that whether you have achieved them or not, but if you have sincerely worked towards that, the fructification may come later on.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you have been purposefully conducting your journey to that end, even if the success in the worldly sense was not there, I would still feel that it was a success.
Right. So that
So
is very insightful statement, sir. So working towards your goal is also kind of success.
yes, it is.
You
It is
work towards
because,
it.
like, I'll just give an analogy. Like, you may plant a mango tree. You see it growing, but it may not still fructify for next 10 years. You may
Yes.
not be there till that time.
Right.
But you will, when I see that the tree is growing, I know that I'm successful, although I have not seen the fruit.
Yes. Yes.
So I
Yes.
think so. But eventually, I feel that a life which is well spent, creating a balance between your work ethics, your duty towards your family, your children, your spouse, to the society, and towards your inner peace.
Yeah.
If you are able to do that, I feel I will call it success.
Right. 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 So if you had to go back in time and change a few things about the life you have lived so well, anything you would like to give it a thought?
Well, I think I am too happy. Whatever I have achieved, I need to be thankful to the God for whatever He has given me. Lot to thank Him. I don't think I would wish to go back in that chakra once again. I want to, look for moksha now.
Right. So, apart from being a very successful academician, you have had a very successful career in academics and all those things. But apart from that, what I would like to say here is you also have been very healthy, and even I think even now you maintain a healthy lifestyle. So, what is your success for fitness? You are lean, you are fit.
Thank you. You didn't say lean, mean.
No, 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 sir.
Uh, so I think thanks to probably my genes, you inherit something like plus, uh, you know, right from the beginning, when I was a small child, young student, our teachers used to say, "Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, wise," and somehow it stuck deep into my psyche, and I have been doing that. So I hit the bed around 9:30, and I'm awake by 4:30. So this has been my lifestyle for now last almost 68 years,
Oh,
and I think probably that's enough to discipline you, and plus I think the sense of being thankful to God, whatever He has given you, also energizes you. So I think being thankful to the Almighty for whatever you have got keeps you happy and healthy.
so I think gratitude, discipline, all these things come into play.
And since I am a morning riser, so I will finish off most of my work in the morning time, and then I have enough time to go for a walk. So I'm very fond of walking, morning walk. So do about 8 to 10 kilometers of walking, brisk walking. That has been my, I don't go to gyms. I don't know how to do that. So, but simple plain walking, I think, is good enough. So Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, yes. Walking in the night and Johnny Walker in the night. Walking in
Yeah,
the morning and Johnny Walker in the night.
right, right.
Right, sir. So, I do tend to ask this question to many of the seniors teachers, which I tend to follow, is what books do you read? Do you actually read, and what books do you read?
Yeah, so we are very lucky that we are in India, and very lucky that I'm a Hindu, and very lucky that you have, a treasure house of knowledge with us.
Yeah.
So whenever I have time, I will like to read more about our heritage. And interestingly, I have developed a knack for reading books which are little hatke, like like
Like,
if you are talking of Mahabharat, the more emphasis is on Arjun, Yudhishthir, and all.
yes.
But many people have written books which are based upon what Duryodhan thinks of
Oh,
what is
oh,
happening to him. There is a author, I think Neil Kantan. He has written a book called Asura. So he describes Mahabharat from the point of view of
Duryodhan.
Duryodhan and his clan. So it's very interesting. So whatever we are interpreting today from the lens of being on the side of Pandavas, if you are on the side of the Kauravas and then you think of those incidences, you will realize that they were not as bad as they are made out to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Similarly, there is an interesting book about the version of Mahabharata's happenings from the point of view Draupadi. So,
Okay.
so it's. I think the book's name is. It's some Bengali writer. So Draupadi is looking at all the events, what is happening, and how she is interpreting why Yudhishthir is losing me there, why
Mm.
Duryodhan is looking at me like this, why I am born through fire to somebody who doesn't want to have a daughter. So all those things. So it's an interesting take on what is generally inferred as you know
Yeah.
good black and white.
Very bad.
So
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's all gray actually.
It's all.
So that's an interesting take. And similarly, there are many books which are philosophical, like Alchemist, or the that How to Kill a Mocking Bird.
Mockingbird. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
mocking. So I think so. These kind of books make you look at the scenario from a different angle. So such books do interest me, and now since I have plenty of time, so
Yes.
I enjoy
Right.
reading such books.
So you are more into non-fiction, and as you said, there is your side, my side, and the truth.
Yeah,
So
yeah, So and interesting. Another, since we're talking about books, another interesting book by Shashi Tharoor. Although Shashi Tharoor has written a book, I think the name of the book is The Great Indian Novel. So
Okay.
where he has interpreted all the, I think it has about 18 or 20 chapters. He is interpreting the Mahabharata in the context of India's independence, struggle for independence and post-independence. It's a fascinating book. It's a thick volume, and it will take you 2-3 months to read that book. But it's very interesting book. This is how you can interpret what is happening around you in a different way.
Right. Right.
So I think fascinating.
Right. So I think, sir, it was interesting conversation. I think I put you some difficult questions, had some diplomatic answers from you as well regarding your students. But thank you so much, sir, for the crystal clear and crisp and to the point answers. And it was really wonderful interacting with you. And I hope we'll keep on having more sessions like this, and we'll interact with you again in a matter of a few months, few years down the line, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
Nikhil.
so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
so much. It was really a pleasure interacting with you, and you did pose incisive questions. And fortunately, I was able to duck some of them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So we'll conclude this session. Thank you all.